while I'm sad. You've been out all night, know you've been bad. Don't tell me different, know it's a lie. Come to me, honey, see how I cry.
Welcome to the Recovery Show with Bernie Z, that's me. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about Step 12 for the family members and friends and those that are support people for the addict. And Step 12 is, having made an effort to practice these principles in all of our affairs, we try to carry this message to other compulsive gamblers, or in the respect of more generally to other addicts. And that for the family members is really a difficult thing, because you're trying to take it to the family members of addicts so that they have hope. With the 12-step program of recovery, this is the last of the 12 steps of recovery, but we'll be going on to the 12 steps of unity, which is how we get to the point of understanding that we're not doing this alone. But really, it's a matter of the addict and the family really getting into the principles that are behind the recovery process, for both sides. And as we learn things, we tend to want to share more about it. Your struggles, your successes, your failures, those are the things that tend to be helpful all the way around. For me, when I got to the 12th step, which, as many of you have heard me say over and over again, the 12 steps are not necessarily always going to be in order. The only ones that really stick to order are the first 3 or 4. After that, it's when you're ready for them. And for me, step 12 kind of was culminated in consummated in my starting to work on things to reach out to others that have a family member or that are addicts. It caused me to write How to Win as a High Roller, which is actually the first in a series of 5 books at this point, all there to help with recovery. The first book being one that's compiled of writings over a 2 or 3 year period and came out in 2013. And that one basically is a workbook for both family members and for the addict to learn more about what it is to be addicted. An addict understands their addiction, but sometimes the family members and such don't. And that is when it requires the involvement of trying to help make the process of addiction easier to understand for somebody that's not been there. And I went to the process of trying to explain the comparison between going to a restaurant that you really like and the addict. And we know that if it's something you enjoy, you don't go in there, do a little bit and then leave. You go in for the restaurant, for example. You won't go into, say McDonald's, if you're a big fan of McDonald's. You won't go in there and buy one fry, not a bag of fries, not small, medium, or large, just one single fry and walk out. You go in there, you want the fries, you want the drink, you want the sandwich, you want the food they have in its entirety, so you can enjoy it in its entirety. And at a regular sit-down restaurant, same thing. You don't go in there and buy a little bit of this and a little bit of this and walk out and spend very little time there. You want to experience the whole environmental experience, good, bad, or indifferent at any given time. It can be a thing where once you've started, you want to complete the experience. And that's what it is for an addict. They get started and they're not there for a little bit. They're there for the entire experience. And searching when between those experiences, they're searching out a new opportunity to have that experience. So that's when you get to that 12th step and you're starting to realize that you've had to make changes and stuff, and you've learned the principles and you've walked through them and you continue to use them. You want to take that message to others that are suffering, because you know what it's like to suffer through an addiction. And you know what it's like, and for family members, you know what it's like to suffer through watching a loved one going through it, because you see the destruction. You are in the path of destruction. You've experienced it, and now that you've begun to see something good come from it, you want to share that with others and help them get through the process. You can't do it for them, but you can share your experiences. You can share your story. You can share the 12 steps and walk through them with them. But that's part of recovery, is being able to give back. And as I said, the first book was and still is a way for me to give back. You'll find me sometimes giving away copies to somebody that I know is struggling and can't afford it, because that's the way it is. You have to be able to be willing to reach out to somebody and say, look, I know you're suffering. Here's something that maybe will help. You can't guarantee it's going to help, but you can offer. And that's one of the things that has brought forth what I do at Stand Tall Recovery Service. It's why I do these videos. It's a lot of why I do what I do. Being a person who is disabled in many ways, health-wise and such, the best way I can think of to help is to share my story. So probably as an interlude between the 12 steps and the Unity program, I may once again share my story in the next video. But for now, I just wanted to share with you the idea that once you've gotten through the beginnings of the recovery process, you really want to start to give back. And for that, I commend family members and friends and those who are in the path of the destruction for what they do to help. And I also want to commend those in recovery who are willing to reach out and do something to help somebody else who needs it. So keep in touch. I'll be posting again real soon, and hopefully this helped. Please let me know by email or any other method that you want to. Thank you.
While I'm